Hey everybody, welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. In the last episode, we tackled the first dungeon here in the Dark World, the Palace of Darkness, and conquered it and saved one of the 7 maidens. And in this episode, she showed us 6 other dungeons where the other maidens are being held. And in this episode, we're going to go ahead and maybe do a little side questing and then go to the next dungeon. Now, you would expect me to go to Dungeon 2 because, I mean, obviously, after Dungeon 1 comes 2, right? I'm not actually going to be doing that. This game, it's not entirely open world, but you do not have to go to Dungeon 2 next. You can very easily go to any other dungeon that you desire besides a few exceptions. To tackle Dungeon 5, you need to do Dungeon 3, and to tackle Dungeon 7, you need to do Dungeon 6, 5, and 3. So, there are some exceptions to what order you need to tackle dungeons in, but I'm actually going to be tackling Dungeon 4, and I also recommend that you do as well, because it will open up a lot of stuff if you do. So, you really want to go ahead and do that. But for right now, there is a little side quest that I do want to do right now. Let's see if we can even get to it, actually. Yeah, we can. Alright, so you want to head on over this way. And remember that flute player that we saw in the light world? Well, he was only an apparition in the light world, but if we go over here in the dark world, after wandering into this world, I turned into this shape. I enjoyed playing the flute in the original world. There was a small grove where many animals gathered. I want to see that place again. I buried my flute there with some flower seeds. Will you try to find it for me? Good. Then I will lend you my shovel. Good luck. So what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and teleport over to the light world. And you want to dig up this flower bed here. Oh, here's the flute. Its music surely has some mysterious power. We have obtained the Ocarina of Time! Okay, no, not really, but I mean, it's a blue ocarina, come on. Thank you, Link, but it looks like I can't play my flute anymore. Please take it. If by chance you go to the village I lived in, please give it to a tired old man you will find there. Well, my mind is getting hazy. Please let me hear the sound of the flute one last time. In his dying breath, he heard one of his favorite songs playing on his own instrument. This game gets pretty dark. I guess that's why they call it the Dark World. Okay, whatever. Anyways, these flowers signify that there's something cool here if we transport over to the Light World, and indeed there is, because we get a piece of heart for doing that. So yeah, how traversal between the two worlds work now that we're kind of getting a little bit more freedom within the Dark World and we're not quite so railroaded. Unlike A Link Between Worlds, if you played that, you can teleport from the Dark World to the Light World anywhere you want, but to go to the Light World to the Dark World, there's only specific areas where you can go to. You can either go to the portal that you create whenever you spawn in, and also that's what happens if you spawn into a wall whenever you teleport to the light world. You'll instantly get teleported back. So you can go into the portal that you create when you spawn into the light world, or you can go to one of the predetermined areas to spawn you in the dark world. Most notably the area in Death Mountain with that blue little squiggly thing that we first entered the dark world in. Anyways, here's a little side quest that we can do right now. Is if we talk to this dude. Welcome to the treasure field. The object is to dig as many holes as you can in 30 seconds. Any treasures you dig up will be yours to keep. It's only 80 rupees to play. What do you say? I promise I will never do that voice again. I'm sorry. So, here's a little mini game that we can play. We want to dig as many holes as we can, much like he says, because after a certain amount of holes were dug up, there is a chance for a piece of heart to appear here. Let's see. Yeah, so there's going to be a bunch of rupees. You really want to collect all of them because you might have to retry this minigame quite a couple of times before you get the piece of heart here. But yeah, the more holes you dig, the higher chance you'll get. Oh my god, I got the first try! I got it the first try! Okay, that was a bit of a freak out there, but oh my gosh, I never get it the first try there. It's kind of like the heart piece in Ocarina of Time whenever you go to Dompe's little grave digging tour thing, and you end up having to stay there like, you end up having to spend like over 100 rupees just to get one piece of heart because you just won't dig it up. Same thing happens here because I usually have to tackle that minigame like 4 or 5 times before I get the piece of heart there. And okay, yeah, so if I want to go back to the Dark World, I could go to that portal, but for right now, if you try to go to Kakariko Village in the Dark World, you will be blocked off by those dark boulders which you cannot lift up yet. Alright, let's see. So yeah, you want to find another way to get to Kakariko Village because there is no other way to... There's no other way to get into Kakariko Village besides lifting up the dark boulders. But something to help with that won't happen until you go into Kakariko Village in the Dark World. So it's kind of like a whole thing that you have to deal with. But you want to make sure you go down this area in the Light World of Kakariko Village because... Hey, blast you for waking me up from my deep dark sleep. I mean, thanks a lot, sir. But now I will get my revenge on you. Get ready for it. Or, is that okay with you, sir? I laugh at your misfortune. Now your magic power will drop by 1/2. Congratulations. Now do your best, even though I'm sure it won't be enough. Have a nice day. See ya. Kind of reminds me of the cursed chest from Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. But yeah, now we will use half as much magic powder as we would normally use it in general. So it's a very worthwhile upgrade. You really want to do that. Alright, now... I think I mentioned this before, but I really recommend doing Dungeon 4 after tackling Dungeon 1 because it is... you are not required to do any other dungeon before Dungeon 4, and it has an item that will help traversal immensely. So it is very much recommended to do Dungeon 4 now, even though it's technically going out of order. Every single playthrough of Legend of Zelda Link to the Past that I do, I always tackle Dungeon 4 after Dungeon 1. Just because the dungeon item that you get there is very helpful to you at this point in time. So, very much worthwhile that we do that right now. Going the wrong way, don't want to go this way. Oh yeah, to get into Kakariko Village in the Dark World... we want to go through the Lost Woods, because there's going to be another teleporting spot here. If I can freaking get rid of you, please. Thank you. You don't want to get hit by this guy, because he'll steal your items! Okay, and then you want to go this way. And then there's this exit here. Which will lead into... this area where you get another Dark World portal. And yeah, we can't lift up this rock because it's too heavy. But if we go this way, that's not present in the Light World. And oh, well, I don't really need it actually. Actually, it came to me anyway. That's pretty funny. Now we are officially in the dark version of Kakariko Town, Thieves Town, and this looks like an Earthbound battle background. Alright, now there is, the Dungeon 4 is right here that we can tackle right now, but there is one thing I want to take care of before we go on, and it's this minigame right here. And unfortunately, this is going to be another rupee sink, because you can open 2 chests for 30 rupees, and there's a random chance that you will find a piece of heart here. Wow, I got a good payout, nice. So you pretty much just want to try this minigame over and over again until you get the piece of heart, because it can randomly come out of one of the chests. Alright, let's see what we get. We get a bomb and we get a heart. Great. Don't get the heart piece, but we get a heart. Then 2 chests for 30 rupees. Yeah, nice! Oh my god, I always think this is going to take way longer than it does, and then I get it right away. Oh my gosh. Alright, and we want to pull that off, and now we've accessed the explanation of Dungeon 4. Yes, Thieves Town is the next dungeon that I'm doing. It is actually a very straightforward dungeon. You're going to start off by getting the big key, and then moving on to the back rooms of the dungeon. The big key is located in that big area you see on the map there with 4 squares, and then you're gonna navigate through the smaller rooms in the back. This dungeon is actually really straightforward. There's not much to say except that the item, the Titan's Mitt, is gonna be amazing, and it's the reason I recommend you doing this dungeon first, because it will help traversal a lot, because it will finally allow us to pick up those darker rocks that we could not before. I know I didn't make it a big deal in previous episodes, but those big rocks block so many quests off that you can now do, which is why I recommend doing Dungeon 4 now. Otherwise, it's not really much to say. It's pretty straightforward, like I said, so just go in and then you'll come out. The entrance to the 4th dungeon, Thieves Town, which it's the name of the town, but it's also the name of the dungeon. That's really weird. I don't know why. I always kind of wanted this dungeon to have kind of its own name, but no, it just has Thieves Town, the same name as the actual town. Anyway, we go down here and we get the map. Now, if you know what you're doing, this dungeon is incredibly short, so yeah, I'm not really too worried about running out of time in this area, because obviously I played this game before, so I kind of know what I'm doing. I believe there's going to be red rupees. Sad how I know that, but hey. Alright, so now this dungeon is going to start off with like a whole hub of 4 big rooms, and you want to make yourself to the lower right room. Oh shoot, that was my bad. Alright. Okay, we're gonna go this way, and that's a fake bombable wall, so don't bother with that. And yeah, as you see there's gonna be these shiny things, and if you get hit by them, then you're gonna turn into the bunny, which is basically the same as when you turned into the bunny whenever you came to the Dark World the first time. You're utterly useless, you can't use any items, and there's actually no way to cure it this time, not even the Moon Pearl. And we get the compass. We get the map and the compass. And the big key right at the beginning of the dungeon, yeah. It is a very weird structure, this dungeon, giving us all 3 major dungeon items at the very beginning. We haven't even gotten a small key yet. Alright, oh shoot, I didn't want to get hit by that. That took a lot of life out of me, jeez. Jeez, man. Alright. Want to avoid the fireball there. And go this way. And the key is going to be on this area. Alright, now the red ones will shoot fireballs. I don't think the blue ones do. The blue ones are, oddly enough, the weaker ones. It's usually the red is weaker and blue is stronger, but nope. And these bubble gum monster looking things, you want to hit the little soul when it's opaque, and then it'll kill the whole monster there. Alright. And then you don't want to pull that switch because that's just going to drop a bunch of bombs. Instead, you want to lift up the skull and then press that button. And there's a lot of light shining in from the mirrors, from the windows. Jeez! Doesn't know the difference between a mirror and a window. And we get a bunch of bombs here. And as you can see, there's a clacked 4 in the middle of the room. So I wonder what we'd have to do. Stop ruining my sarcasm! Okay, yeah. We don't necessarily have to go through that hole there, but it is required for us to do that. So don't want to leave this area without doing that first. Oh, shoot. No, shoot! Shoot! Oh, wow, I got hit quite a bit there. Should probably be careful. Like I said, a lot... at this point of the game, the enemies do a lot of damage, so you want to be careful. Okay. Now, you don't want to go through the room to the right. Instead, you want to go down the stairs here. If you open up the door through the right and then you go through it, it's going to be a one-way door and it's going to take you back to that area where the Stalfos were. So you have to loop all the way back around. Okay, and then you want to go through here. And I actually don't have a small key yet, so I don't know why I'm going this way. Alright, and oddly enough, you don't need any keys to go through these gates here, even though you needed one at the very beginning of the game, but I guess Link learned how to lockpick between worlds. Oh, thank you very much. You saved my life. Please take me outside. So yeah, we saved the maiden from this dungeon. Now we have to go all on the outside, right? Alright, and we're going to go through this locked door here. And here we get the Titan's Mitt! This is why you want to tackle Dungeon 4 first, because it gives you the Titan's Mitt, which will help you immensely through traversal in the overworld. Those darker rocks, I know it hasn't seemed like it's been that big of a deal during the Let's Play, but that's just because I've been going through the areas that I know I can do side questing in without the Titan's Mitt. But once we get the Titan's Mitt, oh boy, there's a whole bunch that opens up to us, and that is why I recommend doing Dungeon 4 right after Dungeon 1. Alright, and here we go! Yeah, too bright! And here we are in a battle against Blind. Blind is actually kind of difficult. His weak spot is on his, or her weak spot, I guess, because it's a woman, is going to be on his head. Once you hit him, he's going to be shooting beams everywhere. And now once you hit him 3 times, his head is going to come off, or her head. Jeez, I keep mixing up the genders here. Their head is going to come off. I guess it works too because there's multiples. And start shooting a bunch of beams everywhere. It kind of becomes a game of bullet hell here. And not only that, but the main head is also going to be shooting its fair share of beams everywhere. And now that you've hit its second head 3 times, now you're going to have to deal with 3 of the heads coming out, and I died. Hooray. I actually don't... I'm actually not surprised that I died at this boss, because this boss is legitimately tough to do without getting hit here. He's not too bad. They're not too bad because, as long as you keep hitting them. But, yeah, they can get pretty out of hand if you don't know, if you're not paying attention to where the bullets are going. Anyways, now that we've done that, Link, because of you I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. As the wise men sealed the way to the Dark World, the Knights of Hyrule defended them from the attacks of evil monsters. I heard that the Knights of Hyrule were nearly wiped out in that battle. You are perhaps the last one to carry on the bloodline of the Knights. It is ironic that the last one in the line has the potential to become the hero of legend. Surely you can destroy Ganon. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Alright, and with that, we have now beaten Dungeon 4. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. Next time on The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, we're going to actually take a bit of a backseat from doing dungeons and do a bunch of side quests, since now a lot of those have opened up that we've retrieved the Timesmith. I'm telling you, very important that we do this now. Alright, so see you guys next time.